Jared Kushner, senior White House advisor to Donald Trump, believes that 170,000 dead Americans is a huge success story. That is what he told Wolf Blitzer on CNN earlier this week. During his appearance, Kushner was asked point blank by Wolf Blitzer, are 170,000 dead Americans, would you still suggest that this has been a success story? That was the exact question verbatim from Wolf Blitzer. Jared Kushner responded, yes. Look, there's a lot of challenges. This has been a global pandemic, a lot of unprecedented challenges. But the first word there, yes. Would you say that 170,000 dead Americans is a great success story? Yes. That is what Jared Kushner said earlier this week. And he went on to justify it later by saying, listen, back in April, we had 2,500 people every single day dying. We're not seeing that now. By the way, though, to kind of correct his point, we are seeing that now. We are. Not every single day, just like it wasn't every single day back in April. But no, we've had the deadliest day of the pandemic, and it wasn't back in April. It was actually this month. So Kushner's already lying about how much better things have gotten. And folks, I know we're seeing a decline in the total number of COVID-19 cases here in the United States, but the only reason for that is because the government has slashed the testing. All those testing centers, testing sites that had popped up during the pandemic, a lot of those have been shut down. So people cannot just go and get tested as easily as they could a month or two ago. And the reason the testing has been shut down is because Donald Trump was losing favor with the public because of how high the numbers were going in this country. So he says, well, we'll fix that. We'll just stop testing. He admitted that. We'll just stop testing. We're not going to send out money anymore for states to test. That's why we're seeing a decline. But it's not because fewer people are catching it. It's because fewer experts are catching that people have it because they don't have the money to do the testing. And to Jared Kushner, that's a big success, right? The guy who we just recently learned is the one who pulled the trigger on not sending aid to blue states because he wanted to punish Democratic governors. He's the one who says this has been a big success. By the way, he should be prosecuted for that. I'm still kind of shocked that Congress hasn't even considered calling him in to testify about what he did. We know this happened. He was going to let blue states die because he thought it would help Republicans at the polls. He's also the guy running the shadow coronavirus task force who helped with the confiscation of hospital supplies. Hospitals would order supplies, the trucks would be coming in, the federal government would intercept the trucks and confiscate the PPE and whatever equipment it was that the hospitals were having delivered, and then Kushner would be the one to direct FEMA on how to redistribute it. That's why we saw in the early days some of these red states that didn't have big outbreaks, they had a surplus of equipment, and the blue states who desperately needed it, they weren't getting it. And now it's kind of flipped. The red states have run out of equipment. Nevertheless, every failure from this administration, and there have been plenty, there's been a failure every step of the way, Jared Kushner has been there for almost every single one of them. That's why he's out there trying to say that, yeah, it's been a big success. We're great. We're the best. Nobody can do better than us. Because he's trying to save his own reputation. He's trying to save his own life here. He's trying to save his boss as well. But Kushner comes first. If he admits that it's a failure, then he admits that he is a failure. He admits that his father-in-law is a failure, and that's probably going to make Thanksgivings a little bit awkward in the Trump house in the future. Nothing that this administration has done with regards to the pandemic has been helpful. Nothing has been good, and no decision they have made has been correct. They have managed to screw up every single thing they've done, up to and including today.